Good morning, all you fine individuals out there that are watching this channel on YouTube. Hope everybody's off to a blessed and wonderful day. It's the old soldier coming at you from Robeson County, North Carolina, where it is cold and blustery this morning. A far cry from yesterday when it was warm and muggy. Yeah, cold front's coming through. Cold front, cold front, cold. Either way it goes, temperature drop and it's cold. That's the weather for you sometimes, unpredictable. Anyway, folks. Once again, the dipsticks of the left are doing everything in their power to make Commander-in-Chief look bad. The sad part this time over, what has the potential to be extremely dangerous or deadly. Yeah, I'm referring to that doggone coronavirus. They said now there's a case that has been noted that somebody has no known contact with China. Regardless of however he got it, they're trying to figure it out. Because the president released, I think it was an authorization, they said, for $2 billion to fight this. And, Nancy Butthead and Chucky Shucky and a whole host of others they're just petty. The president comes out with a team of medical staff, says, look, we're getting in front of this thing, we're going to put $2 billion into the research to find a way to mitigate or stop, slow down, whatever they can do for this darn thing. Okay. Now, this whole thing kicked off. You don't know, coronavirus has been around for a long time. But the thing about viruses have different strains. I.e., the flu virus, case an example. Some years the strain is hardly anything at all, and in some years it really puts a hurting on people. My thing with what the Democrats are doing right now to the president over the funding to try and mitigate and stop is just petty, on top of the fact that it's creating almost an unwarranted panic, all in the effort to make the president look bad and that he's not taking this serious enough. $2 billion, I think, is serious. So now they're saying he didn't allocate enough money. Well, that's their way of saying, well, he should have asked for more so we could, siphon off some of it for our little pet projects. That's what that means. But instead of, what they ought to be doing, standing unified behind the president, his team of medical staff, and everybody else that's trying to fight this thing, and saying, look, we're doing everything for our country. Keyword there, our country. Yeah, we got political differences, but when it comes to the health and welfare of our country, we are all on one sheet of music. But no, they can't even do that. Bunch of sorry bleep individuals. I had my own censor. What can I say? I would definitively like to go up to Washington, D.C. right now and smack the dog snot out of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer for doing this. But I won't, because I don't like driving through big cities. And Washington, D.C. being a big city. Anyhow, folks, it just that it watching that this morning, that kind of got under my skin. But it just, and right now, every doctor that's talking about this on TV, that's the other thing. Every TV show, talk show, news show, got their medical expert. The one thing that they're all saying is make sure you do is wash your hands and don't touch your nose or your face. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Kind of common sense. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to be concerned. Anytime there's a virus out there that has spread the way it has spread in other nations, yeah, there's a need to be somewhat concerned, but let's don't overthink this either, folks, and get into a panic that, that this is as deadly as the plague. But don't take it for granted that you won't bump into somebody that might have contracted it either. It's common sense precaution, folks. Common sense precaution. Wash your hands. If you feel sick, go see the doctor. And the thing with viruses versus a bacterial infection, there's not a whole lot out there on the market per se to fight viruses with a lot of times. And right now there's no known vaccine for the coronavirus. And maybe part of this $2 billion would be to work to develop one, and it'd be awesome. Of course, then now you get into the segment of the population that are iffy on vaccines. I'm not going to call them anti-vaxxers. But there is a group of the population and that's fine if that's what they believe. Talking about that, certain vaccines I think we ought to get. There's some that I question just from my years in the military that used to give us. And you just kind of back your mind is like, did we really need to get that one? Is that truly a necessity to get that one? Or are we just being a guinea pig for somebody's bigger experiment? Case example, when I went to one of my NCO schools, I had to do a research paper on the anthrax vaccine. Yep, sure did. This was about the time the Army was considering administering it, but they weren't sure if they needed to or not. And this was before 9/11, so that tells you the Army was already considering it based on whatever. And then, of course, we know after 9/11 there was the letters in the mail that and we had to write a research paper either pro or con. I wrote mine pro, but with caution. And the caution was this, that the meat industry has been using that vaccine. At that point in time, this was 99, summer of 99. And the meat industry at that point in time had been using this vaccine for about 20 years. Now, meat workers can be exposed to the anthrax virus through either ingestion or through cutting nails or cutting the skin. More likely cut in the skin more than anything else. The military's big fear with anthrax virus was with the potential of being spread as an inhalant, either in an aerosol or powder or mist form, where people inhale it. Much like these letters in the early 2000s that were sent out that had powder in them. Some tested positive for anthrax, some were just a hoax for baby powder. bottom line is that was the fear, and my paper stated that while the meat industry has used this for 20 some odd years, there's no known cases, well documented cases of people having bad reactions to the vaccine. 'Cause that was the other thing. People were afraid of, certain people having severe reactions to the vaccine, which there was a handful, but none at that time that were very well documented. But my reason I said pro was that you've got an army that you have to protect when they go on foreign soil from any potential nuclear, chemical, or biological threat that's out there. When anthrax is a biological threat. But I wrote with caution the fact that because there is no known proof that the vaccine that was currently available on the market, if it would prevent from an inhalation or contracting the virus through inhaling it, and that additional research needed to be done some kind of way to ensure that the vaccine would be viable against an inhaled variant of the virus. The other guys, some of the other guys in my class, they wrote against because though the vaccine had been on the market for 20 some odd years, there was only a small segment of the population that was required to get it within the meat industry, and therefore more study needed to be done on a broader base of the population before. I get it. So half a dozen one and 10 of the other. All I can tell you is, folks, don't get wrapped too much around the axle on this thing. Try to keep up with some of what the news is saying on it, but at the same token, just use common sense. Go read about the virus yourself. WebMD is a good one to go to. Wikipedia is all right. It's decent information about it, but WebMD is another one that I check a lot of times. They start talking this stuff on TV and the news, and I go to for my information. So, other than that, folks, y'all have yourselves a blessed and wonderful day. Stay safe out there. If you're where I'm at and it's cold, bundle up and stay warm. We're going to have to postpone segment 2 of the survival series that I was going to be doing this Saturday. The nature is I've got to travel. As you know, this week I told you my video about my daughter. She's been accepted to a long-term facility in Georgia that we have to take her to. So Saturday we have to take her there and get her checked in. They'll provide her a place to stay, a full-time job, mandatory counseling. So, could just continue to keep her in your prayers and thoughts. Much appreciated for her prayers and thoughts. Yeah, we got like a 24-hour window from the time she's released from where she's at to get her to where she has to go. It's kind of how they like to do it. So, got an 8 to 9 hour drive ahead of me on Saturday morning. But it keeps her safe and away from the crap that she was involved in, the better. So. But anyway, folks, I've rambled on enough this morning. Charities, as always, I'd ask you to help out with tunnelstotowers.org, Folds of Honor, Pennant for Vets, and Valor for Veterans. They can't do it by themselves, folks. Any help that you could send their way, they'd be much gladly appreciated. Vendors, Money Quit Pawn, Rayford Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Robert's Custom Work on Etsy, likewise Unsung Patriot. Black Bag Resources. Got my books down below in the Amazon links. So all that's down there in the description box. And if you like the content of this channel, hit the share button with somebody that hadn't subscribed, and ask them to like and subscribe. And just share the message, folks. But until then, God bless, take care, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. It's the Old Soldier out.